Hey there, I'm Dana Johnson, dental practice management expert, certified Dentrix trainer, and founder of Navoni, revolutionizing the dental industry through innovation and strategic leadership. It wasn't long ago that I lived in your shoes, navigating the daily challenges of managing a dental practice with the hopes and dreams of having a productive schedule, money in the bank, and getting home on time to my sweet daughter. After 25 years working in the dental practice and 17 years as a certified Dentrix trainer, I found my life's work, helping dental teams one-on-one, optimizing their systems and software. If you are looking to create the thriving dental practice you have always dreamed of and empower your high-performing dental team, you are in the right place. Let's get started.
So by now, you might be asking yourself, or asking me, it's like, hey, Dana, like, why is this whole goal setting process even worth it? It sounds like a lot of work. And I would tell you that there are really a couple main components, a couple main reasons why setting goals, monitoring your goals, and having that whole team process is really worth it. I kind of sometimes like to use a sports analogy. If you're a sports team, I don't know if any of you have ever watched, I think it was Super Bowl 50, where Atlanta was leading in the third quarter, and the Patriots came back and beat them in the fourth quarter because he understood what the goal was. He understood how much time he had left. He understood what the score was. All of those components were right there in front of him, and he knew exactly what he needed to do to win the game. And so we're looking at, what do we need to do to have a successful, thriving, profitable business and reach our goals, reach our potential, so that we are able to buy the best equipment for our patient care. We're able to take our team on CE trips. We're able to afford to buy our team, have a clothing allowance for their scrubs or their equipment. We have the money to, have a 401k plan. So everything about goal setting and planning and monitoring and forecasting all comes into play when you're running a business. So yes, it is a lot of work. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but I am saying that it's necessary. It's necessary in order to run a business successfully. And, many of your team members are asking for raises. They're asking for benefits. We want to have a competitive advantage when we are trying to hire new team members. So everything we do when it revolves around our production goals, our collection goals, it has everything to do with patient care, has everything to do with having that competitive advantage for hiring team members, retaining team members, being able to do those fun things that you want to do when you're working for an employer that you really enjoy working for. So that's the why. So let's dive in just a little bit deeper. I know we have been talking about like how to set up the appointment book. We've talked about how to actually create goals. Those are all generated by having a meeting with your financial planner or your CPA, and the doctor and the practice owner. They are the ones that are actually like creating these goals. They all revolve around practice overhead and what kind of lifestyle are you looking for your team and your practice and the owner. And everything revolves around overhead. So if you're not profitable, then the lifestyle that you're looking for cannot exist. And so this month I'm also having a doctors only mastermind where we're actually going to take a worksheet and we're going to fill it out, and we're going to come up with, how do you come up with practice goals? I'm so excited about this doctor mastermind. It's going to be fantastic. And so now that we have our goals set, and we know what they are, then we basically hand them over to whoever is like maybe your office manager, whoever's in charge of like mapping out the schedule, really making sure that all of our provider days and hours are accurate, because we've already talked about that. We've already talked about how to make sure your days and hours are accurate for reporting and analytics. We also now are going to be putting in our goals. So now we can see, okay, are we at goal every day? What's our monthly production goal? Are we at goal? Because we can see on the schedule, you know, that little calendar in the upper left corner of your appointment book. Okay, when you click on that calendar and then you click on scheduled production, you can see, okay, what do I have scheduled? What is my goal for today? And what's my variance? So am I over goal? Am I under goal? Am I going to make goal today? Am I going to make goal for the month? I used to use that monthly calendar all the time when I was in my practice. Oh my gosh, I looked at it all the time. I was always ready to see, do I need more production on this day? Am I at goal for this day? Can I maybe put this patient out to another day because I'm already at goal on a particular day? So I used that monthly calendar all the time. And then what I would do is I would set up special views, appointment book views in my hygiene rooms. So my hygienists could monitor and see their particular hygiene production goal. So, you know, that calendar in the upper left corner of your appointment book, well, that calendar calculates production and calculates production goals based on the providers that you've selected for your view. Okay, that's really important to remember because I get this question all the time. Dina, the production on that little calendar doesn't match my day sheet. I know it doesn't always match 100%. And it always is driven by the providers that you have selected in your view. So that's really important to remember. So I use that little calendar all the time for scheduling, for just monitoring. Now, another thing that you can use for forecasting and making sure that are you at goal for today? Are you at goal for the month? You know, what does the rest of the month look like? Is your daily huddle report. So your daily huddle report is another tool that you can use in order to monitor those production goals. I mean, this is a fantastic huddle report. So if you're looking for a way of presenting production goals and collection, like where are you at for collections for the month, and where are you at for new patients for today, for the month, all of those kind of key indicators that you might be going over during your morning huddle. The daily huddle report is perfect for that, okay? Because it also includes your production goals for your doctors, your hygienists, and the total office. So at the top of the daily huddle report, you'll see, okay, what did we produce yesterday? What are we producing today? And what are we producing for the rest of the month? And then you have a variance. If you ended the month today with the schedule staying exactly the way it is right now, so if you didn't change anything in your schedule, would you make your production goal today? And if the answer is yes, then you're set up for success for the rest of the month. And I'm not saying that you need to just skate the rest of the month, because if you still have some openings in your schedule, you know, you could go over goal. And usually when we go over goal, that's when we get the bonuses. That's when we get our incentives. And you might have a bonus program set up for your practice. I really believe that the production goal is an entire team effort. It's not just your front office. It's not just your schedulers who are helping to meet this production goal. Everyone on the team is involved. So like I said just a minute ago, I would set up views for my hygienists, because my hygienists should also see, am I at goal today? And is there anything that I need to do differently if I'm below goal? Is there anything I could do differently or add to my schedule to help me make goal? For example, let's say you have a patient that is scheduled for only a prophy, an hour. They have an hour to do a prophy, okay? And you need to produce, your goal is $150 an hour. You're scheduled to do a prophy, and your prophy fee is only $100. Okay. Is there somewhere, does that patient have need fluoride? Does that patient have an occlusal guard on their treatment plan that you could take an impression for? Does that patient have any other needs? Like, do they need any toothpaste or anything else? So you're always looking for ways to make that goal. Now, you may make the goal for other patients. Maybe you're over your hourly goal because maybe you're doing 2 quads of scaling and root planing with the patient right before that. So it all balances out. So those are the things you really want to look for when you are not quite at goal for the day. And that daily huddle is a great way for you to kind of monitor that during your morning huddle. So, maybe your doctor's not at goal for today, and you see that you have maybe a couple, 40-minute spots in your schedule. Maybe you have a patient that's been waiting to get in for their Invisalign impression, or maybe they're waiting to get in for a single occlusal filling because you're down only $200 for your goal for today. So I think the whole entire team can always be looking at how can we serve our patients in the best way possible, and how can we make that production goal for today. So I just told you a couple of spots where you'll see those goals. First is in that calendar in the upper left corner of your appointment book. And then on your daily huddle report, you'll also see those production goals on the daily huddle report. All right, when we come back from our break, I'm going to tell you a third spot where you'll be able to see those production goals.
Did you know that you could increase your team's productivity by up to 200% if you had a formal team training program in place? And businesses that do have a formal team training program in place also enjoy up to a 24% increase in profit margin. If you want to learn how and book a call with me, click on the show notes and book a free discovery call with me, and we will talk all about it.
All right, welcome back. So as long as your Dentrix software is up to date, and when I say up to date, I think it's probably like at least in the 23 or 22, at least G7 series. There's a new module on the Office Manager called Dentrix Reports. It used to be called the Practice Assistant, and they redesigned it. They added a few new reports in the new Dentrix Reports module, which used to be called the Practice Assistant. We all kind of stopped using the Practice Assistant because sometimes it didn't pull up accurate numbers for some reason. So Dentrix kind of redesigned it, made it a lot better, and they added a new report called Forecasting Production. And so there's now a new forecasting report it's pretty cool. I don't use it a lot, but I just wanted to let you know that it was there. So you'll be able to see, what do you have scheduled for the month, and are you at goal for the month? So it's kind of a static report. It's something that you would either just look at or you could print it. I don't like it as much as the Daily Huddle because the Daily Huddle gives us quite a bit more information. But I did want to let you know that those production goals will also show up on this production forecast report, which is new inside of the Dentrix Reports module. And so those are my tips for tracking, monitoring, and forecasting your production for the month. An extremely important piece of managing and running a small business, because we all need to know the score. We need to know, what do we need to do to win the game? All right. And the game that we are winning is providing patients with comprehensive care, because if we're providing patients with comprehensive care and we're selling optimum treatment and we are getting patients enrolled in perio therapy and we are providing, those really good diagnostic sequences, like those, we're doing an FMX regularly or we're doing a panel regularly, all those things add up to better patient care, and they also add up to more production. So it's really important that we know that, I'm not just saying production, that you just need to focus so much on the goal, but I am saying that you need to track the goal, because if you're not tracking it at all, then the chances of you making that goal are very slim. And if you don't even have a goal, now is the best time to maybe ask your doctor, hey, doc, I was listening to Dana's podcast and, it doesn't seem like we have any production goals that we're tracking. What do you think about that? Do we have any? And sometimes the doctors just keep the goals in their head. They know what they need to produce in order to keep the lights on. But what if you wanted to have some kind of an incentive program? Or, you came from another office that had a bonus program and you wanted to maybe help implement that in your practice. Maybe sit your doctor down and say, hey, doc, what do you think about this? I'd love to be able to get a raise someday. I'd really like to, be able to go on a CE trip with the whole team. How do we do that? How do we make that happen? So it might be you kind of, poking the bear, or it might be you just asking about if that's possible. So, all right. I hope this was helpful. Of course, I love 5-star Google reviews just like you do. So I know that if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast player, there's probably a rate, review, or share button right in your podcast player. Give us a share, give us a like, give us a review. We would really appreciate it, because every time you do that, our information gets out to more people. And the more people that we help optimize their systems and software, the better dental industry is going to be. So I thank you for spending some time with me today, and I look forward to watching your journey of becoming a high-performing dental team.